pop locking on the dance floor.
Booyah, what's pop locking, y'all? Big Cool Boy, Robotic Puppets, West Coast Pop Lockers, down here at Cool Boys Boxing Camp and Dance Academy. And this is my YouTube channel where I allow pop lockers to come and express themselves. Talk about what happened, talk about how it went down, and talk about what you gonna do or what you did. You feel me? This is Cool Boys Pop Locking channel. Let's have some pop lock talk, y'all. Talk your shit. Booyah!
On the dance floor, I like the way.
What's pop locking, y'all? Big Cool Boy. Welcome to Pop Lock Talk. Now remember this jam right here? This was a cold one, wasn't it?
It seems like yesterday we were hanging around the hood. Now I'm gonna keep your memory alive like a homie should.
I'm bumping this jam for the legendary Poppin' Taco. Poppin' peace, homie.
Going down the drain. I like to keep stepping, but I can't get past the pain.
The whole pop locking world is gonna miss you, dog.
Your memory, take a trip and I start to think and I know
You influenced a lot of people, homie. Woo.
we'll be hanging out.
Including Michael Jackson's ass.
This is for my homies, well.
Ladies and gentlemen, today on Pop Lock Talk, we got a cold one. A young lady who's been getting down for a long time.
This is for my homies, well.
She's been repping hard. Tonight on Pop Lock Talk, we got the homegirl Pandora. Oh, y'all don't know who Pandora is? For those who don't know who Pandora is, you better watch this interview. Because she most definitely put it down for the ladies that pop lock. A matter of fact, there's Pandora in my lobby. Let me check to see if she's in here. I'm gonna bring her in. There she go. Look how pretty she is, y'all. She is so pretty. Look at the dimple.
What up?
What's pop locking, Pandora? I'm bumping this for Poppin' Taco right now.
Yes. Rest in peace. Lost another great one. A legend.
This is DRS Gangsta Link for the homie Poppin' Taco. Man, losing Poppin' Taco is like equivalent to losing Tupac to the hip hop world. How about that one? How about that? For those who don't understand our pop locking world, Pandora, that's the best way we can describe this loss. That's like losing Tupac for pop lockers. Ooh. How you doing, man? You look good.
Thank you. I'm good. You too. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
How you
Thank you, sweetheart. I'm good. I'm good. You know, I had broke my ankle a year ago, so I'm so happy right now that it's healing and I'm back to boxing and working out and dancing and shit. You know, feeling good,
Hope
man.
so.
Yeah. So, Pandora, this is what I need you to do because Pop Lock Talk has to be accurate. I need for you to identify yourself. Tell them who you are, where you come from, and what you do, mama.
Whoosh. The long one. For starters, I'll make it short. My name is Marie Medina, aka Pandora Marie, better known as just Pandora. I'm a dancer, professional dancer. I'm a street dancer. I specialize in poppin', and I also specialize in tutting. And I also do other styles of dance. And I hail from Santa Ana, Orange County. Learned how to dance in LA from a lot of the Los Angeles pioneers, and traveled around after that learning from many, many people around the world. I love this culture so much. It's my base style. It's the style of dance I love most. It's my identity. I am me, but I wouldn't be me, and I wouldn't have this dance without all that came before me. So I'm here because of all of y'all in history. So I just got to say that for sure. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
That's what's up. You know, I think a lot of people out there would love to know, how old were you when you first started popping? And where were you?
So it's a good question. When I began, I would say that was 98. About 98, I was 17. So I had seen it. I had participated. I jumped in a cypher in 98 for sure. I remember that. I just was mimicking what I saw. And that's how it all began for me. I had first seen it in high school. I went to Saddleback High School, and I don't know if y'all, do you know Elsewhere? You heard of Elsewhere? So he is a popper. He does a lot of waves. We both came from Santa Ana. So he was the very first dancer I had seen in real life. In high school, we used to have a DJ that would play music during lunchtime, and I just seen him out there just melting into himself, and I didn't know what that was called. I wanted to know what that was, and I had found the dance by going to raves, underground parties at first, seeing a lot of people my age doing shapes that I didn't know what it was called at the time. I didn't know anything, and I saw tutting, and I thought it was so ill. I just jumped in. I got a lot of support, actually. When I got out of the circle, people started clapping for me. Probably was not good, but after that, somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, you a popper?" I had no idea what he was talking about, but I remembered that, and I started asking people questions that I thought were dope that I had seen in circles, and then I bought my first VHS tape. It was Mr. Wiggles tape at a hip-hop shop out in Orange County. And that's pretty much was my first introduction to everything. And then it just unraveled from there. So yeah, about 98 is when I began.
So Elsewhere inspired you?
Yes. Oh, yes. Elsewhere, when I saw him get down, I didn't know what I was looking at. That's what caught my eye. Like, what is this? And I also want to say that I love music. I love hip hop in general. I have always been a hip hop fan since I was a little girl, getting my cassette tapes taken away from me from my parents. I mean, like, I love the culture, but I didn't know about any of the dance side until way later. I didn't know anything. I actually hadn't even seen breaking at that point. And I saw Elsewhere, and I found out, I was like, where are they going? What is that called? And I basically just started going where they were going. And I saw other people dancing differently, seeing some old school heads also at parties. And then after I started learning from people around my age, I went to freestyle sessions. So that was when I met Slick Dog. It's where I saw Skeeter Rabbit. That's where I saw a lot of people that live local. And then B-Boy Summit after that in 2002, which is where I entered my first battle. And that was the first time I had decided that I would introduce myself to the world as Pandora. That was when I had decided that that would be my name. I'm sticking in that. This is who I am.
But what made you go with that name?
Ooh, so
I mean, it fits you perfectly. I love the name.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I wanted a strong name that represented me as a female, just because I just hadn't seen that many, and I felt that that was important. And I also wanted something strong because I love to battle. I love the battle scene. That was something I wanted to get more into at the time and do more of. So I wanted something that sounded, if you heard that, it would make you raise your eyebrow, like Pandora. I want to see, what's Pandora look like? I want something that was, that made people excited to see me. And it had a story, a cool story to it, a cool little story. I also tut a lot. So if y'all don't know the story of Pandora, it comes from Greek mythology, and the gods made her essentially as the first woman on Earth, and they sent her down with the box. And when she opened the box, she had unleashed chaos into the world.
Inside, then be able to rid her mind of it forever. But at the first crack of the lid, the box burst open. Monstrous creatures and horrendous.
So a lot of the times I had heard that story, but it was used in a negative way to, say, oh, you opened up Pandora's box. But I wanted to kind of spin that around and use it as something strong, especially as a woman. So I thought that, hey, it's the perfect name for me.
Dope. So 2002 was your very first battle?
Yes, 2002, B-Boy Summit. And for me, who was there? There was cats from France there. Sally Sly won that year. Oh no, he got far that year. Clown won that year. I had seen him there, and it was the first time I had seen another female make it to the finals. It was Pringles versus Clown, and she's from the Midwest. Actually, I want to shout her out because she was the first female I had seen skilled that was at that in a battle make it to the finals. And she was still dope. She was so dope. And that inspired me a lot. I had entered that with my girl Holly, who is also a popper that I had met there. And I was so nervous. And there's so many people there, but I decided that this would be my moment because no one knew me yet. And everyone would be watching me at that moment. Everyone who was beginning to everyone who was old school, everybody. So I kind of felt like it would be a good way to introduce myself. And so it didn't really matter how well I did. I just wanted to represent and do it.
Pandora, let's go back for a minute. Let's rewind. Let's go back. Back to Elsewhere. So he inspired you, and that was in 1998, right?
So the first time I had seen him, he's a year older than me, so I first seen him in 97, I want to say.
Okay,
so maybe a year before that. So it took me a while. I had seen it, but I hadn't actually started yet. But yes, he did inspire me so much.
So when you saw him getting down, from that point, did you start teaching yourself, or did you get with someone else and they started training you? How did you end up getting down?
I have a really interesting perspective when so I believe I will say I self-taught myself to start because I didn't know anyone yet, and for me, I was mimicking and copying what I was seeing other people doing at parties and in circles. So in a way, I would say I was self-taught, but for me, it came first from seeing all these other people that I thought were really dope, so I kind of consider them my indirect teachers, if that makes any sense.
From watching them.
And yeah.
So wait a
watching
minute.
them.
You mean to tell me no one can get the credit of teaching Pandora anything?
Yes, they can. All kinds
No.
of people
This is what I mean by that. This is what I mean. I mean, not by you sitting and observing and checking out. I'm talking about somebody actually taking the time out, standing side by side next to you and saying, hey, this is how you get out. Did anyone ever do that with you?
Many.
Really?
So,
like who?
well, we're winding back to that moment. So Elsewhere, right? Elsewhere was the first inspiration for me that I had seen. Then I started going to parties, and I started seeing cats get down. One cat in particular named Confusion, who is around my age at the time, who is already really dope at popping, everything, but particularly tutting, which is why it's called Confusion. And another cat called Jigsaw. Both of these guys are around my same age, so I started seeing them getting down circles. And for a while I just watched, and one day I just jumped in a cipher that they weren't at. It was a circle with some other people. They clapped, they cheered, the same story. They said, oh, you pop. And then I had found that Wiggles tape. I went and got the Wiggles tape. I took it home. I copied everything from there. I went to a party, and actually Confusion had seen me. I jumped in a circle where he was, and he pointed at me, and he goes, Mr. Wiggles 3. He called out the video that I had seen because I had bit, everything from there. And I told Wiggles this also.
Wait a minute. So you actually met Mr. Wiggles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I
how was that?
All my inspirations.
So
early.
When you met him for the first time, how was that for you?
Man, I was so nervous. It's surreal, and that's how it was for me with a lot of people. Because overwhelming a little bit, because it's someone that doesn't know me at all, but I know him in a way from watching that VHS tape and many others he's made, but particularly that one special to me because it was the first one ever of all poppin' videos, anything poppin' related that I had seen. And in that particular video, he had different parts that broke down poppin', boogaloo, tutting, waving, and there was all these sections, and
right.
He demonstrated each one. So for me, it blew my mind because I didn't know any of these things before. I'd seen them, but I didn't know they had names. I didn't know any of that. So that was my first introduction to that. So I thanked him. I was very grateful because that really, I think it took me far in a short time. Even though I was copying, it wasn't anything original, it put me somewhere enough to where it caught attention of other people to want to teach me, to see something in me. And so I thanked him for that. And I don't know if he remembers or is watching this, but
his instructional DVDs were very informative. He really helped. A lot of people followed his instructional DVDs. A lot, He deserves a lot of credit for a lot of people out here doing tut moves. I will admit that. But look, you know what I would like to share with you?
Yeah.
I would like to share the very first time that I saw you. I lost my mind when I saw you for the very first time because, pop locking runs through my blood. It runs through my bloodstream. And for me to see a young lady doing what you did when I very first saw you was unbelievable. I believe we were at, I always get the two names mixed up, Jane Fonda or Henry Fonda, one of those over there in Hollywood.
Henry.
One of those theaters, and I think it was called How the West Was Won.
Yep.
And I was in the audience. We were all out there ciphering and getting down and bussing, and then you were with a crew on stage. I think you guys had on red and black or something that day, and you guys were on stage bussing, and I'm sitting there watching y'all show. And they took you, because you was the only girl in the crew at the time that was on the stage. and you guys was hitting these performances, and you was getting down, and you was tutting. You came out hitting your tuts, and then one of them grabbed you and flipped you upside down. And when they flipped you upside down, you still was hitting tuts. I said, "Oh my God." I said, oh my God. I said, "I love this girl. Look at this." You was hitting them tuts upside down. My mouth just dropped. That was the very first time that I saw you. I don't know what year that was.
I would think it was 2004. I want to say either 2003 or 4.
2003 or 4, yeah.
In that, those were, I did so many things in those years, so they all kind of blend together for me. But yeah, that was How the West Was Won. That battle you're talking about was my crew at the time, Animated Beat Mechanics, ABM, versus Machine Gun Funk. So it was an exhibition battle, and we had specifically made that routine for that moment. So it means a lot that you remember that.
I was there. I saw it. I am a witness. They turned her upside down, y'all, and she said, "Boom, boom, 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 boom." I said, "Oh my God." Haven't seen that one. That was dope. That was a moment I will never forget. Hey, you know, a lot of stuff happened at that particular event that day. A lot. I remember Mr. Animation. He really opened up that day. Rest in peace. Matter of fact, Pandora, anytime I say someone who's passed away, we bow our heads and give them 5 seconds of peace. Pop peace. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop lock love to Mr. Animation. But anyway, Mr. Animation was in the cypher, took his shirt off like he normally do, like he at Venice Beach, and he was serving. But I really got upset that day because him, and I want to say it was Jay Smooth. Is his name Jay Smooth?
Yeah, probably. I know on that side that day it was who was there was Bionic Man, if I remember correctly. Jay Smooth's. Oh man,
so I'm right.
Yeah.
Jay Smooth was there. So him and Jay Smooth battled. Now Jay Smooth was dope. He got really good moves, and they're technical. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of people doing his moves because they're complex. But my opinion, he did not beat Mr. Animation. Him and Mr. Animation went head up, and and my mouth dropped when I saw that. I said, "I can't believe what I just saw." You know what I'm saying? That tripped me out, man, to see that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh, you remember that battle?
Yes, of course. I remember any battle that went down where it was on a high level. I remember.
Now, who was all in your crew?
I mean, Animation is just in a class of his own too, you know. And for me, I feel like, I mean, much respect to Jay Smooth too, but not just because of Animation's history, but I mean, the one thing that I did always respected about the West Coast, particularly, I mean, I can speak on LA because this is where I learned to dance, but just everyone just has their own look or their own style or their own approach. And I was always taught, because there are many people, have the blessing to have had many people teach me and talk to me, will always stress that, to find what makes you unique and be that. Definitely you want to pass on and honor what people give you or teach you, but it's important to be original and just be your own thing. And to me, when I look at everybody, at least from that I know of, again, I can only speak for LA, even though I've been to many places, everyone has their own thing, from Flat Top to Animation to Bop and Andre to even the LA Boppers. Everyone, even if they do similar styles, everyone has their own approach, and I love that. That was a big thing to me. That's what made I feel like you could be dope and technical, or just to be really like admired, but like to be remembered as by your name, as when you think of no one else but that person, that's special to me. Like when I think of Animation, I don't think of anyone else that looks like Animation. I think of Animation, what makes him who he is, and other people also. So yeah, for me, like anytime I see anybody like that get down, I remember it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Tell me, because you're like one of the elite, shall I say, premier when it comes to females who pop lock.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Appreciate that.
Oh, you're most definitely the pinnacle of that. But tell me 5 names of other pop lockers, other female poppers that you admire.
That I admire off the bat. First one I gotta say is AK, because she, out of everybody, when I first started, was the one I seen the most in person.
Lady AK.
Yes, Lady AK. I will next say Tangerine, because even though I never met Tangerine or seen footage of her, when I first started, no one could stop talking about Tangerine. Everyone I met had a story. I mean, I feel like anybody who was anybody that I ever met would tell me and would actually suggest that I kind of go that direction, and they would describe her moves. They would describe. I mean, I feel like I've seen
Pandora.
her, and I've never met her, and I've never seen her dance.
Pandora.
But she's a legend to me. I have to say Tangerine.
Pandora, her name has been mentioned on Pop Lock Talk more than anybody's. More
I
than
believe
anybody.
It should.
And she's supposedly supposed to be coming on the show. Of course, she's changed her life. You know, I think she's a minister now. But and the person that I'm not talking to her direct. I'm talking to her through a guy named Fantasy from the Dominoes.
Yes, the Dominoes, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's talking to him. She's sending messages to him to send to me, and I'm sending messages to him to send to her. But she says she's going to come on the show. I can't wait to interview her, because her name has been said more than anybody's on Pop Lock Talk. So you gave me Lady AK, you gave me Tangerine. Lady AK representing Inglewood, California. That's the home girl.
Yes.
I know her. Tangerine, come on, give me 3 more.
Medusa.
Woo!
Medusa, hands down, not even just from a dance point of view, but just an artist point of view. I mean, if I could talk about women that are just strong and queens, like, she would be it. Like Medusa, I never got to spend much time with her, but I can tell you the first time I saw her was actually a video clip Wiggles had on his website when I first started, and I clicked on it. It was she was on a stage, and she was snaking. Like, she was doing some snake, like, really crazy, big, huge, like, she looked like a Medusa, like from the movie. And I lost my mind, and it was a really short clip. It was just that one moment, and then I'd seen some other things of her, and I mean, I also heard many stories about her as well. So for me, I felt like, wow, I was very inspired by her just in general.
Man,
beyond just pocket.
You are naming some heavy hitters. Lady AK, Tangerine, and Medusa. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that would be dope if the 3 of them was ever together, huh?
Right?
Ooh.
Oh, for sure.
Give me
For
2
sure.
more.
And that's just from that generation. And so I feel there's many more. I could keep going beyond 5, but I will go, the next 2 I'm going to say just because there are people that I feel that I had a personal experience with, so I have to shout them out. And it was life-changing for me. So Pringles, I will mention Pringles. She's from the Midwest. So it was life-changing for me to see her. As I said, she was the first female I seen in the finals of the battle. And at the time when I was coming up, people were telling me, you're probably going to meet her. She's probably going to battle you. Like, people were kind of prepping me to go at her. And they were saying she strobes, she ticks a lot. Like, that's what she's known for. So I was in my car, like, practicing, like, had my hand down in traffic. Anytime I could get a moment to just practice, I was like kind of gunning for her. And then that battle came, and we became friends, actually. She was really sweet, and we actually ended up starting our own female crew at the time.
What was the name of it?
Entering battles together.
What was the name of that crew?
Venus Flytrap. It started off as Venus Flytrap, now it's just Venus Fly. We are not as active as before, but we're friends, we're crews. So we're, all women having our own lives and having our own businesses.
Now for our documentary purposes, what year was that?
That, the crew started?
Yes.
The year that I seen her was at B-Boy Summit 2002. When we began that group, I want to say it was and this is why I want to be careful with years because I don't want to get it wrong, but it was in that range of 2004. I want to say 2005, right around that
That's
time.
cool.
Because
Okay.
I had left Animated Beat Mechanics, and then we started that group together. So
No,
that
it was just you two?
it was an all-style type of thing. So we had a locker, we had we and her were poppers, we had a house dancer and a B-girl. And a lot of people think I'm from the Midwest just because I was in two crews where mostly everybody was from the Midwest. But at the time, I was meeting a lot of people from everywhere coming to these big events. So I just kept in touch with people, and the people I kept in touch and build with most, that's where I ended up becoming grouped with. So I grouped with them, and we traveled together. We did a lot together. We entered a lot of battles together. So Pringles is definitely, I cannot not mention her, because when I'd seen her, I'll talk about her style. She had a lot of character. She smiled a lot. She hit super hard, and she wasn't afraid. She was in that battle, and for me, that's the big thing. I admire people who are confident, especially women, and she did her thing. And so for me, I respected her a lot for that, and I wanted to model myself also after that. So I have to give her a lot of respect because she was already, in my opinion, better than me at the time, and I had already been going to events and traveling and doing things, going on a tribal tour and things like that. So for me, that I got to give it up to her. So there's Pringles. And then I'll say someone a lot newer that I ended up becoming really good friends with, and we were also in the same crew, and that's Marie Poppins.
It got hot. It got hot.
Mary.
So I don't know if you know that most people don't know we're in a crew called Style Elements Crew. And Poppins, we became real good friends after I'd seen her in Texas at a battle. And I started working at a dance studio in LA with Zulu Gremlin. And he said, hey, I need because at the time I was doing graphic design, web design, and helping out with their marketing. And they said, oh, do you know another person to help out with marketing? And then I thought of her, because that's what she was going to school for business out in Chicago. And she wanted help with her visa, so she needed to come work there. So I was like, oh, come down to LA. So she came down, we worked together at that dance studio on Hollywood Boulevard, International Dance Academy. And we got real close, real tight after that. And we started entering battles together a lot. So I'm real big on not, hating against my fellow ladies, really giving respect and just honoring everyone, because to me, they're just, at the time when I first started, I didn't see a whole lot of us. So it just made sense to just, give respect where it's due and build with people and grow it and inspire other people in that way. And if we ever battle, that's what that is. But outside of that, we're cool, So I really respect everybody. So yeah, Poppins, that's the other woman I'll say. So there's my 5.
Lady AK, Tangerine, Medusa, Pringles, and Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Pop Lock love to all of them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you remember getting down? Now, I don't know the year, but it was at the Poppers Picnic, and Midnight Dancer allowed all the lady Pop Lockers to come out and throw down.
Yes, of course. Yes, I remember that. I remember that day because I almost wasn't able to go there because I had another event I had to go to, and it got canceled. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go. I really been wanting to go here. So I went there. So I wasn't dressed my usual way. I was wearing like a blue romper and like some white.
Right.
Like
You wasn't in pop style.
No, I was not.
I noticed that. I didn't know. Okay, so that explains that. Okay, it was kind of dressy like. Okay.
So a lot of people did not recognize me when I showed up, and so I went there, and you know, Cleopatra was there. She Street, I believe she went by before.
She's
I
on.
remember Adenia, who much love to Adenia. She's shown me much love over the years. She was there, and I remember those are the two that I know personally that were there. It's escaping me right now who else was there. I apologize if I'm missing anybody, but there were several of us there.
Brittany B.
What's that?
Brittany B.
Okay, Brittany B. And who, am I missing anybody else?
There was a couple of more. I just don't remember all of their names.
Hey,
I want to say one of them used to go with Heckle or Jekyll, one of them guys, one of their
it was
girlfriends.
a dope group. It was
Yeah.
a real dope group, and I had not even known that there was going to be that there. So that was real last minute. That was real.
So
like,
look,
on the moment.
look. Okay, so tell me this: what had you would have worn if you wouldn't have worn that outfit? Give me a description of how you would have came dressed if you knew you was going to end up being there.
I mean, you know, we're outside of the barbecue, so I probably would have just worn some jeans. Like I'm a real, as you can see, I love my t-shirts and my jeans. You know, I would have worn just some kick it wear, but I still would. Maybe I would have worn a blazer. I definitely would have had my hat. I definitely would have had a fedora of some kind. I didn't have any hat there. So little things. I'm a hat jacket person. You know, maybe I would have had a cool little jacket. Something with my name on it. I don't know. I probably would have been a little bit more casual, but I do like to just show up to anything dressed up a little bit. So, you know, I like to change it up every now and then. And that's another thing that, as a female, I feel like I like to feel feminine in my attire as well sometimes. So I may show up in a dress. You never know. And heels. But yes, that day I probably would have worn jeans and a t-shirt, maybe a little jacket and a fedora.
Pandora, tell me, because you're a battler, you like to get out, you like to go up against people. Tell me one of your toughest opponents.
Ooh. So I will tell you about a battle that never happened, but it was meant to, and that one was, and I still believe to this day would have been, I was definitely nervous for that, and I was preparing for it, and I was supposed to battle Ree at a Radiotron, actually.
Who?
And Mr. Ree.
Oh, Mr. Ree. Okay.
And so that battle, I had been meeting up with people, training, getting prepared for it, and I have to give my respect to him because as someone who tuts, like, he's another person.
Well, wait a minute.
people,
Hold
would
on.
always mention.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. But how did that align? Why would Mr. Ree want... How did that happen? Why would the two of you...
I know, I kind of just came in out of nowhere with that one. So,
Yeah, let me know.
So the year before that, I had won a Radiotron in 2003. And I believe J-Rock entered that battle. Jerry Smooth, if I remember correctly, might have been there too. So I had won. And then the prize, besides the trophy and a jacket, was to return the next year. And they were going to put me against someone as a challenge, and that would be for a trophy as well. So that was Little Caesar and crew of Radiotron that was setting that up. For a long time, I didn't know or was aware that it would be Ree, and then some months before, I don't remember how long before, but enough time. they had told me, and I nearly lost my mind because he definitely was one of my idols as well. And I'm not saying like was, like not, is, still isn't. Definitely still much respect to Ree, because a lot of my tutting style, the guy that I learned from that I seen at Raves, Jigsaw, he also learned from Ree. So there's some passing on there, you know, even though I didn't learn directly from him. There are some things that got passed through there to me. So I feel in a way connected to him in a way like that. So for me, I was like, oh, I was really looking forward to that because that was a challenge. I didn't even think I would win that, but that to be on the stage with someone of that level and that respect and that history was going to be a milestone for me, regardless of how I did.
Right.
So for me, that was why I was looking forward to it.
I get it. But it never happened.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, he didn't show up.
So,
he had actually apologized for that. I just want to say that at How the West Was Won, I want to say he had shown up, and he waited a point to come straight to me and apologize for what,
that's cool.
You know, when that had happened.
That's cool.
He said he had to be in New York for another engagement. So for me, that meant a lot to me because I was really upset after that.
I can imagine.
I was so mad.
Yeah, but tell me a battle that did go down that was extremely tough for you. That had you like going, oh shit, what I done got myself into now.
So now, speaking of How the West Was Won, it's going to be that one for sure. I had actually won that, and I did not think I would. And I know I've been talking this whole time about confidence, and, you know, that's something I model myself after, and I love to battle, but it doesn't mean I don't get nervous. It doesn't mean that, you know, I can't be beat or anything like that. So when this battle rolled around, they reached out to me and they said, we're going to have a 13 people invite. And we were thinking that we need a woman there to represent. And we have these people. In this lineup, they had Frantic, they had Salah, they had J-Rock, they had J Smooth, they had Tempo, they had a lot of heavy hitters that were around my age at that time. And to me, Sweepy was there in the same one. I mean, when they told me the list, I mean, Frantic was in the same line. I mean, I probably already said Frantic. I mean, I'm already time traveling. I just couldn't even think straight. I was like, I'm not gonna win that. I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna represent. I'm definitely gonna go out in flames, and I'm definitely gonna go hard. But this is gonna be hard. This one's gonna be one of my biggest challenges yet. So, you know, I practiced for that. I ended up battling, of course, at the time, my own crewmate first, J-Rock, and then I battled Sweepy, and then after that, they had kind of a showcase style, and I had to follow Salah, who many people, you know, he's an amazing performer, and of course, I'm sure he blew that up. Basically, he did one of his signature tut moves where he pulls his t-shirt up and he has his hands in a tut position, and he's kind of walking down some stairs behind the t-shirt. Crowds going wild. So I had to follow that up. And at that time, I think a lot of people hadn't seen him in a long time, as he's from France. So people were just, even me, people were excited to see him there. So the crowd was just going wild, and I had to go after that. And and I did me.
So the way it's set up is you guys are not going face to face, head up. It was done showcase style, is what you're saying.
The final, yes. The final one, yes.
Okay.
So,
but you did go. So you did go head up with J-Rock.
Yes, J-Rock and Sleepy.
You went toe to toe with them.
Yes.
How many women can say that they have done that? Because both of them can get out.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Do
you realize that you? Do you realize you're making history? Because how many women have beat these dudes that's top ranking like these cats? I'm sure you've thought about that. You're being extra humble, Pandora. But the truth is the truth, sweetheart. The truth is the truth. You know? How many women have done that?
Definitely, I am aware of that. I tell this. It's a story I tell a lot, especially to when I in my classes and whoever I run into, because for me it was unbelievable at the time to me that I would have won that, but that day that's not what I thought. I'll put it that way. That day, my mind definitely was not there. Before that, when I was preparing, but
So you
that
took it
day,
all. You won.
that yes, I believe I did. But I will tell you this: I won. I I I wholeheartedly, looking back at my footage, am proud of what I did.
Okay.
I do know that because of at the time it was very controversial, meaning when after the fact, many people thought I shouldn't have won, which was very hard for me because at the time I respected so many people, and of course to hear that they don't think that you should have won, uh, did kind of bring me a
You
little bit.
were announced the winner, right?
Yes.
Bottom line.
Yeah, well, I take that. I definitely take that. I definitely take that because for me, I mean, it was a
You
real
have a
proud
lot of
moment.
respect for those that you went up against. I get it. I understand it. But everybody has a bad day. Everybody's not always on their A game. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? People fall off sometimes, and you was probably that. You had your edges sharpened up that day and got down. And you sliced and cut them up. Yop 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 yop. You did your thing.
I thank you. First of all, thank you. And for me, uh, the only thing in my mind that day, and that's the one thing that was also told to me a lot from many people, is be remembered, right? Like, even don't think about like, oh, like what other people thought, or this or that. Were you remembered? Be remembered. And so for me, my goal that day was I'm going to be remembered. I'm going to I'm going to put it down.
That's right.
And no one can never not say that I didn't.
That's right.
So for me, that was my mind state that
Now,
day.
what year
And
was
I think
that?
that was a memorable time for me.
What year was
Was
that?
that? That was 2004.
And where was
But
that
like
at?
I said, that time was like a real a fire time for me. And that was in the Henry. I want to say it was the same place as the year that you went when ABM and Machine Gun Funk were battling.
I defined it. Okay.
Different year, but same place.
Okay. Hey, what's the most heartfelt thing you have done with this dance?
The most heartfelt thing I have done with this dance, I want to say the most heartfelt thing is simply just people, because I put myself out there at the time, I wasn't realizing how many people would see that or what that would eventually turn into. Because at first it began just because I saw it and I thought it was cool, right? And then I loved it, and then I couldn't stop doing it. It turned it kind of into an addiction. And then, I kept practicing. I was dancing all the time. I was going everywhere. And then, after, I never intended to do it for work or anything like that in the beginning. I didn't even know you could. I really just started just because I loved it and I thought it was dope. And I respected so many people. I thought they were amazing, and that touched me. And the most heartfelt thing is just doing the same for others and realizing, like you said, these moments, they're historical and they do impact people in a big way. I have had people come to me in tears saying, thank you. You have inspired me. I didn't know about this. I never seen anybody else. They've either brought up a moment they've seen me or just in general, and so for me, even it makes me tear up a little bit because I didn't know really how to react to that at first because when I was younger, because I would have people coming up saying these things, and then for a while I was like, wow, it's really special. And I just want to say, like, for me, that's one of the biggest heartfelt things. It's kind of I feel it's kind of a way that it's something that kind of keeps me going, because it's outside of myself, right? It has nothing to do with me or like what I want to do. It has everything to do with the world around me and how and inspiring them. Because I'm not going to be here one day, and that's going to pass on, and then hopefully that story will live on through them, and not even just as a story, but more women or more people, man, woman, whoever, anybody, to say that if something touches them like that, I know what that's like. So for me, if I could do that for others, that's the most heartfelt thing for me. I know it's real general, but I've just got a lot of stories like that when
Pandora.
it first started happening, I was like, wow.
Pandora, do you have any proteges?
Direct proteges? I don't have a direct protege, but I definitely have people I have trained and I've spent some time with. So I will shout out I've spent some time with Adenia, as she had personally reached out to me many, many years ago, and I'm so proud of her. She's toured, with Egyptian Lover, and done her own things. Also, I would say that I've spent a lot of time with Poppins as well. I've shared a lot of what I do with her, just by being around, because for me, when I first started, that's how I learned to being around and making it a point to be around these people that you want to learn from. And it was more than just, it's not a class, you just show up to a studio or something. These are real people with real experiences. So for me, like the people that spent the most time with me in Poppins, I would definitely consider her not a protege, because she has her other sources too, but definitely someone I spent a lot of time with and shared a lot with, probably maybe the most in a certain time period. Any direct proteges other than that? Right now I teach in Vegas bi-weekly, so it's a Poppin class.
Where at?
So I teach the same students in Vegas at the Prodigy Dance Training Center. They're actually a crew, but it's an open studio, so many people go.
That's dope. What days are you down there?
What's that?
What days are you down there?
Monday nights. So if anybody's ever in Vegas, definitely feel free to drop by, look up the Prodigy Dance Training Center. And that is something I've been teaching out there. Maybe whenever I'm been here, I moved out to Vegas about 7 years ago. So whenever I'm in town, especially during the summers, I'm teaching there a lot. So I see the same kids often because a lot of them go there to train often. So I will consider them, anything that I've taught them, proteges of that. Other than that, I wouldn't say I don't have the one. I don't have the one master student just yet. But trust me, I'm not done sharing my craft or teaching. I'm still always looking for people to share with and keep pouring into, like people did with me. So,
Pandora, you're on a skill level where you have to battle, because you like to battle. So you're on a skill level where you're placed in front of some of the dopest pop lockers, man. I mean, how does it feel? Of course, majority of the time when you get down, you have to go up against these dudes. How does it make you feel?
In the moment? So, beforehand, I'm always, I never, like you said, anyone can have any kind of day at any time, right? And I'm real humble. I always believe before I get there, just get my head right, my mental right, and prepare, do what I need to do. And then when I'm there, for me, the only thing exists is just being me. And if I'm entering with somebody, us, and then we go and we represent and we be the best we can in that moment. And I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I give much respect. But if in the moment of who's ever there, it could be anybody on the other side, it's going to be an equal playing field in my mind because I'm there to shine and I'm there to battle. But definitely, I'm always, no matter what, the feeling is always excitement. The feeling is excitement over fear. I'm never afraid. Never afraid of anybody. I'm more excited, and if anything, depending on who it is, like that Rio one I mentioned, I was a little nervous before that, if that were to happen, but definitely excitement, always excitement, because it's not just about winning. It's also that moment is going to be memorable, right? Like if people are going to talk about it. I mean, people I respect, especially people that I really am influenced by or inspired by, is special to me. So I'm honored. I'm always honored when I ever face anybody, or if I have to face anyone like that, like Frantic.
Battle up on the red side. Oh my God, it's Pandora. Representing Santa Ana, California. Poppin' is the style she represents. Queen, let's go. Okay. All right. On the blue side, we got Boogie Frantic. Los Angeles representing. Oh, geez. Representing the first round. Well, y'all, this battle, I don't even understand if y'all know what y'all are in for. I know. Don't get mad at me, Miss Funk. I don't know. Let's hug it out now, because Lord knows it's about to go down. All right, y'all, this is going to be y'all time to shine. All right, but DJ, Lorena Carmel, you know what time it is. Give us something to dance to. Oh my God! Who was it? Oh, he was it. Here we go. Let me know, y'all. Y'all give us some love. Here we go. Pay attention.
battle him at Dance Your Style last year when it was in the Poppin' event. But we're
Is that
both
the Red
poppers
Bull
representing.
event?
Yes, yes. So, you know, out of all the people, I ended up getting Frantic, which we laughed that it would be that way, and then it ended up being that way. And so it was a real honor because when I first started, he was already who he was, like, when I first started. So Frantic has kind of always just existed as Frantic to me. So that meant a lot to me. I was real.
Do this for me,
I was real
Pandora.
happy for-
Do this for me, because this is what people want to hear, sweetheart. This is what they want to hear. What they want to know is details on how the battle went down. We want to hear your perspective of how it all happened. When he came out and what he did, when you came out and what you did, and when he came out, how the crowd reacted, what was going through your mind when he was busting, what you was thinking of doing to him to win. This is what everybody wants to know.
So I'll take you guys. Basically, I'll share kind of like how I approach battles, kind of the same. Like how I said, it doesn't matter who it is. Before that, I'm always going to feel good. I'm going to feel good about myself. I'm going to feel good about the moment. My mentality is going to be in a good place. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to be everything. That is my mind before I step into any circle with anyone.
That's right.
So, and for me, it's not even about, I don't have an attitude like, oh, I'm going to, it's not from a place where I want to shame them or like anything bad. For me, it's out of respect, and it's out of, for representing in that moment. So, in that particular day, I was real excited to battle someone that I have history with, who I've been to many events with. Broken bread with. It's not just anyone. Someone from the same area, from LA. We know a lot of the same people as a friend. So, but friend or not, in that moment, it is what's going to be. So for me,
That's what I want to hear. Friend or not, because you got to battle your homies sometimes. Sometimes you got to get down with your homies, but when it come down to that moment,
it does not matter. To me, it does not matter, and I'll tell you why. Because that's the most respectful thing you can do. And for me, to me, to respect someone for who they are is to be like, okay, I acknowledge that they're dope, but in this moment, I am too, and I'm gonna be that.
Ooh.
And regardless of what happens, that is always my mentality.
Great perspective, awesome perspective.
Thank you. And like I said, when we were talking about self-taught, that is something that I had to get taught to me. I did not teach myself that, how to think, how to handle these battles. Even and I'll go back to that. There's so many people I want to shout out, but
I understand that when it's time to G up, it's time to G up. But then again, you've been knowing Boogie Frantic for a long time. I know you have. There's still a soft spot in your heart when that's going down, ain't it?
It is, but not till after. But in the beginning, and we
Pandora's a gangster.
There is no, I'm sorry. I have to respect the other person. Frantic is Frantic. He's dope. For me,
I love it.
To acknowledge that and then enter the battle okay, eye to eye. For me, that's respectful.
I love it.
To laugh about it or to be like, oh, whatever. That's disrespectful to me. I think I'm always going to enter the battle and give that person that respect and be the best person I'm going to be. You know how they say about women, women, we don't want easy props.
Right.
But the same thing for other people. Friend or not, I'm not going to give you props.
Boss
you're
up.
my friend.
I love it. I love that mentality. I love it. That's dope, Pandora. So tell me someone else you were close with besides Boogie Frantic that you've been known for years. That's a guy that you had to battle. Who else?
Ooh, you know what? I want to mention this because it's not something I haven't ever spoken of. I don't know. Do you ever heard of Tetris?
Yeah.
Or ever heard of?
Yeah.
So we were really good friends. We're still good friends. And he was younger than me at the time coming up. And, this kid going to a bunch of raves and parties and events and showing up and tutting. And, naturally good. But then all of a sudden one day he's just amazing. And he had a lot of tuts. What? And, and the way he would do it was real, like a cube style, so a 3D style. And everybody would try to make us battle, or say, oh, that would be dope if it happened. So there was a time in Santa Barbara where we all went out for, I believe it was a college out in Santa Barbara. and there was a popping battle there someone was having, and we were both there, and we both did battle. And for me, like, it was dope because of just all the energy bubbling up before that. And he's a new up and comer, you know, so he had a lot of fire in him. So that was a memorable experience for me too, which I will say also, like, never afraid.
Pandora,
excited.
Show me right now your signature tut move that you know everybody know you for.
Oh man, I don't have enough room for it, but I got one where the kick tuts. I got everybody that knows me where I kick one tut, it goes up this way, and this one goes up this way. Mm-hmm. I've had so many people I don't even know come up to me.
You can't bust it. You can't bust it for me right now.
Oh man, I got to see if I can step back here. So, boom.
Okay. That's
I don't have a whole lot of room.
That's
but
you.
I got that one, and then the kiss one.
Ooh.
You know, that's a couple of them that I do that definitely.
Is there?
I got people to me.
Here's the ultimate question right here, and this can set things off right now. This can set things off right now. Is there any female pop locker out there right now that you want to battle?
Any female that I want to battle that I can think of. It's a hard one. Just be honest.
Okay, but there's no so there's no one that you've been looking for.
No, I will say when it comes to male or female, for me, I kind of have them all the same. If they're, the way I kind of put it is, if someone is like based on like just how much noise they've been making or how dope I think they are in general, is kind of how I base it on who I want to go after. And to be honest, most of the battles I've done in the last few years have been mostly exhibition, where other people are setting me up with other people. You know, so, or they think their idea, who they think it would be dope that I go against, and I'm always down, you know, like if I feel like that's something I'm interested in. But yeah, I haven't been in that mind state to look, you know, for other people since I was a lot younger. But I will tell you, like, I do love to battle. I don't, not afraid of that, not afraid of anybody. But no one that comes to mind. All the women that I've battled with, you know, that I've respected, I ended up battling with, or we ended up partnering up together. I haven't really gone against anybody, or there's nobody that I can think of at the moment.
Well, I would like to take the time and tell you thank you, because I appreciate your love and support. And what I mean by that is you participate when I call you. For an example, when we had the pandemic going down,
Oh, yeah.
and nobody was doing nothing, so everybody started doing these videos and stuff, and I decided to put together a pop-in video for the pandemic, and I called you, and you got down for me.
Of course.
Lock, drop, lock, drop, lock, drop. All right. So let's take it from the top.
Locked in on the dance floor. I like the way you move. Pop locked in on the dance floor. I like the way you move. Pop it from the front, pop it from the back. Tick, tick, tock, tock, tick, tick, tock, tock. Now watch me do the robot. Watch me do the robot. Watch me lock it up. Pop lock in on the floor.
Say, yo, G, say what? I get the call for me. Creased
up khakis with the clean white tee, a cool boy. Pop, lock, I bang. Pump it, drop, master hood, body my gang, I vibrate. With my Chucks untied, low, tidy. Morning me fly under the do-why diddy with the tall bar false, more bounce to the ounce. So rough, so tough, that bad. Give me 5 when I backslide. Come on, give me 5 when I backslide. Come on, give me 5 when I backslide. West Coast Stone got us locking on this track ride. Authentic to win it for those who can't get with it. I'm in it to win it. King Tut to the ground, boom box on the shoulder afro with the black fist pick in it. Pop lock, pop lock, pop lock on the dance floor. I like the way you move. Pop lock in on the dance floor. I like the way you move. As I step to the stage, cause I don't give a fuck. And if your busters trying to rock, but then they're pressing your luck against me. The maniac, the lover, killer, new jacks, a rapping if you fuck with me, boy, your ass a collapse. Now as I attack with this cat in my hand, the suckers try to walk up, but they don't understand, my man. I come to twist the truck, so when I feel you, I back off. Because if you don't, you get bombed on by me. What the man who's just selling dopeness. And when I disappear, it's like hocus pocus. Focus on this full rap style. And when I'm done with this shit, I'll be on top of the pile. So don't rehearse the curse, cause if you do it, we'll burst. If you keep on stepping, you're leaving the hearse. Now I'm back to burns, and that's a lesson we learned. Cause when I pop lock in, yo, I'm not concerned. Cause I'm a pop lock again. On the dance floor, I like the way you.
You know, like for me, I'm a big believer, you know, and just you never forget where you came from. You never forget your community. And I know that that was a tough time for a lot of people around the world. And I thought that was beautiful. And the thing that you did there, gathering everybody there to be in that moment together, not together, but together, you know, and that's another thing I know many people were inspired to see. So I was honored to be asked. Thank you, because there are definitely a lot of heavy hitters up in that one and historical people as well. So I was honored to be asked.
Thank you. Right
yes.
on, right on. Pop lock love to you, Pandora. Pandora, here's a real serious question. Here's a real serious question. Tell everyone something about you that you think people may have you misunderstood. Or they just don't know about. Something people don't know about you that you would like to share.
Ooh, I would say maybe one of the most misunderstood things is if anybody doesn't know me personally or hasn't talked to me, they may not realize kind of I'm just not, I don't often have the same personality that I do in battles, you know, or anything like that, or if any work that I've done like that. Ever since I was a young girl, I was actually naturally shy. It was something I had to kind of break myself out of. So I'm actually pretty quiet. I'm a real kind of laid back person. You know, I'm not really the person who's going to stand around, make a whole lot of noise, or be the loudest voice in the room. It's not really me. But I will be the loudest person you'll remember on the dance floor. That's kind of how
Ooh.
I get that.
The beast comes out. When it's time to get down,
yes.
You bust. But when you're done, you go back into this shell.
Yeah. That's very much me. And oftentimes people will think, oh, maybe she's stuck up, or maybe, you know, maybe she just, you know, thinks she's too good, or, you know, I've heard, you know, some things people, you know, may think.
Well, let's straighten that shit out. You know? Let's clear that shit up right now. Pandora's not stuck up, y'all. Okay, she's just minding her own damn business. She's just a little bit shy. Now we cleared that shit up, Pandora. Y'all back the hell up off the home, girl. Now I got you. I got your back. There we go. Cleared that up.
I love everybody. I want to see everyone shine. You know, like I said,
nice.
in a moment of battling, it's going to be what's going to be. You know, but it doesn't go beyond that for
nice.
me. For me, I feel it's important we grow as a community. When we just all support each other. And I mean, to me, you know, you never know if that person's going to be here tomorrow, you know, or how you're going to have with people, or how I've met some people that they've said things that lasted with me for a lifetime, and I maybe only met them that one, you know, nobody I know personally, but so for me, I'm real cool with everyone. It's not
Right
too
on.
much anyone can do, except you hurt my family, that's another thing, but.
Ooh, I heard that. I heard that. Hey, is there anything that you want to accomplish with this dance that you haven't gotten to yet?
Yes, with this dance, for me, one of the most things I also respected about a lot of certain people is where they've taken it, not just in a business sense, but like how they've impacted the world in a lasting way, right? And for me, I think one of the biggest ways to do that is through art. And because as much as I loved that, I also loved art. I also love to perform. I also love to make pieces. I like to make choreography. I like to be involved in shows. I love theater. I love theater actually more than film.
Really?
And I do.
See, this is the beauty of Pop Lock Talk right now. I didn't know these things. Go ahead. I'm sorry, mommy.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Tell me more about that.
So I actually have my own one-woman solo show. It's called Awaken. I debuted it at B-Boy Summit. Just want to say it was 2011.
Okay.
Thank you, Asia, for always giving me a platform, So that happened, and I toured that in 13 cities. And it's a poem that I wrote that I also dabble a little bit with music and beat making. So I partnered with my now fiance,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Another musician, G Coop, and we put together. I made an EP, which was basically the music to my show, Awaken. And the poem is, I like to write, So this poem in particular is about losing yourself in the moment. So it talks about how you first kind of close your eyes, and it takes you through a kind of a mental journey where everything else just disappears.
Do you know it by heart?
Oh, it's long. I don't know it by heart. It's long, but definitely.
Can you recite the first few bars of it? Just give me the
Yes, I can.
give me the kickoff on it.
The first part: relax, close your eyes, calm the nerves a little more. Feel yourself melt into the depth of your core. You're on a journey now. Your journey begins. Release yourself from. Shoot, I lost it from there.
It's okay. Pandora,
But
can you rap?
So I do a little bit. There's nothing official, but they're definitely, like I said.
What does a little bit
I love
mean?
hip-hop. I love hip-hop, and a lot of the things that...
What does a little bit
do a
mean?
of everything. What?
What does a little bit mean?
Oh, that's one thing maybe most people don't know. Is that I can drop a little bit, some here and there.
Let me hear
I'm
you.
not gonna do it right now.
Let me hear you freestyle. Now, let me hear you freestyle.
Oh.
It ain't gonna happen.
No. So when it comes to dancing, I am unafraid, but I didn't say that was for everything else. Okay.
Okay.
That was one thing. That is one thing that you will be. If you catch me at a barbecue or somewhere, or maybe I won't care. But shoot, this is gonna be on the internet forever.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta be careful with that one.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, no, I love it. When I was a little girl, I used to try to write down the lyrics of songs I heard on the radio because I wanted to try to say it too. And so a lot of the things, like I said, I would just, if I wanted to learn that, I'd just try to learn it, and then.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this, Pandora. Let's do this. I got an idea. Let's have some fun. We're gonna rap together. I'm gonna kick it off, and you end it. And then bring it back, and I'll give it back. We go back and forth.
That's a whole nother thing, though. Freestyling, I can write, but you want me to freestyle rap?
We're gonna go back and forth. You only say a few words. You only say a few words to end the rhyme. You end the rhyme, I'll start the rhyme. Like, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I woke up this morning feeling fresh and bright.
Nah, you didn't, because I'm in sight. I'ma drop a line. I'ma take it real hot, and I'm the bee's nest, and you're not.
There we go. Okay, we getting signed. Death Row Records, call Cool Boy and Pandora, the new Pop Lock duet. We getting signed by Death Row. Snoop, sign us right now. We got some hot shit out. Cool Boy and Pandora. Pandora, hey.
I'll joke around. I like to have fun with that. That's one of those things where you're not gonna see me on the stage with that, but I like to have fun with that.
Hey, I want to have some fun with you right now. You ready? You down? Now, I got a ton of questions I'm going to ask you, and you cannot tap out. You have to answer, or I'm going to call you a cupcake.
Okay,
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Who is the sexiest between The Rock or Johnny Depp?
I would have to say The Rock.
Ooh, oh, you like the muscle. You want the muscle man. You want
It's the attitude too.
Hey,
Speaking of that, the attitude for me.
Speaking of that, does your fiance dance?
He does. We're in the same crew actually.
Really?
The Elements crew. Yes. Yes. He's a b-boy, freestyle dancer, b-boy.
What's his name?
Quality. He's known as Quality.
So he can spin on his head and everything?
Yeah, he do it all. Yeah, but he's so I don't know if anybody out there, I know this is mainly a popping audience, but if you ever heard of Remind or Crumbs or any of those guys, so he's definitely one of their teachers. He's an original member of my crew. So anyone in the Bay Area from Stockton, he hails from Stockton.
You in Vegas, right?
Yes.
You haven't caught up with the Jabberwockies and broke on their ass yet?
They're all, you know what, they're homies too. I know I say everyone's homies, but like I said, a lot of these people I knew in LA, you know, when I was out there. I've even been in the same battles with Dunock. There was a B-Boy event where me, Ronnie, and Dunock was on the other side. They had another popper on that side too. Yeah, I've seen these guys. I've worked with them. I've done a lot of things, so we're cool. But yeah, they out here. We out here. They have a studio out here that they be, they're doing shows. They go out there. I see them out there every now and then. They had I did a battle there that they had called Money Moves, and I took second place there. That was actually just before the pandemic hit. I want to say in January of that year.
Who came in first?
I was a B-boy Luca. B-boy Luca. It was very dope B-boy. But that was a cool one for me. Money Moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Who could you see pop locking? And as I'm referring to rappers, what rapper could you see being a pop locker? What famous rapper could you see being a pop locker?
So is that question like who I know is, or who I think would make a dope popper?
Exactly. Who do you think would make a dope popper to you?
Ooh, that's a creative question right there. I'm like, a rapper that would make an interesting popper. Whew. I would like to see Jay-Z pop.
Really?
I would be interested in what that would look like.
You think he would get down?
Hey, you never know.
You know who Medusa? I asked
so,
Medusa that question. You know who she said, and it tripped me out. She said Eminem.
But I would believe it. If he did, I would. For some reason, I would not be surprised. I don't know why. He just looks like he would. Who,
Eminem or Jay-Z?
I would still want to see Jay-Z.
Oh.
I would still want to see Jay-Z.
Hey, when it comes to food, a taco or barbecue?
Taco. Taco. I'm from Santa Ana.
Okay.
All day long.
My bad.
All day long.
My bad.
Every day.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
That's a hard one. I have to answer that one.
You got to answer. You got to answer.
Okay, so I have to speak on both just because, like, I grew up with MJ as a child. So for me, that was, his videos were always magical to me as an artist. Bad, that was the first cassette tape I had, and then later, I found all this other stuff. But for, I'd probably have to say Prince.
Prince didn't pop lock, Pandora. Prince did not pop lock, though.
I know.
Your answer is your answer. I can't be mad at it, but I'm low-key kind of upset about it.
But you know what, though?
I'm low-key kind of hating about it.
I love everything. I love the musician that he was, So for me, like, I highly. I
Okay,
really
so name one of
respect
Prince songs. No, don't name one. Sing one.
him. He has a high voice. He really Prince songs. I'm like,
Come on, sing one of his songs. Diamonds and Pearls.
ooh, they're all hard. Let me see. Shoot. I'm sorry, I got to bypass on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna let you bypass
Technically
on
not
singing.
a question, so
Okay,
I can't pass.
yeah, you got that right. You know your rights. You know your rights. Okay, if you could choose anyone to be the president of the United States, who would you choose?
Hard question. You know why? Because you gotta have a lot of trust in that person, whoever that's gonna be. I mean, and you to be president,
You have to.
anybody
You would choose
of
any.
like the United States. That's a hard question. That one, you got me with that one. I don't know if I would trust anybody that I know or anybody that I could think of offhand.
what
Like
about
someone
your-
would have to convince me. Someone would have to convince me why I think they should be president. Like, there's really no one that I can think.
What about your fiance?
No.
You better hope he don't watch this. He better hope he don't watch.
We're packaged. We're a level playing field on that one.
That would make you the first lady.
True. Very true. If he chose to do that, I would support him.
Okay.
So for sure. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so you're not gonna choose a president for me.
No.
All right, I'm
We'll
gonna let
leave
you
that.
stay. Okay. Which two? Pick one. Lowrider or Lamborghini?
Lowrider. I mean, it's just, you know,
Hey.
of course, yeah, where I'm from, you know, like, and that's the one thing I know these are questions, you know, and not to go too far away from it, but where I grew up, I mean, these are just things I already were around me. So, like, when I got into poppin', it was crazy to me because I knew all these songs already. You know, I knew Zapp and Roger already. I knew, like, you know, all funk. Like, there's just, you know, I mean, the whole culture kind of, I didn't think of poppin' when I thought of it as just my community and people around me, you know? And,
Hey,
and I
Pandora.
thought, oh, cool.
Want me
Yeah.
to tell you something? And anybody can challenge this if they want to. If they got anybody, if anybody want to come talk some shit to me about it, if anybody got anything to say, they can come talk to me about it. I am the person who set the trend for pop locking in front of lowriders.
All right.
That was me.
Much respect.
I'm the one that got in front of lowriders and started busting. I was doing it at 12 years old, 11-year-olds, because my homeboys had lowriders, and I was pop locking. I would go out there and because I wasn't thinking, oh, I want to go dance next to his lowrider. I was thinking, oh, he's playing my song. I want
Right.
to go bust. And so
Right.
I would go stand next to the car and dance, but
Right.
I end up pop locking next to the lowriders. But my thing is, I'm the one who started doing it in music videos and you know, shit like that. Now I see everybody doing it.
Yes.
You know. So if
Yeah,
anybody
well,
got anything to say and want to challenge that on me on that, we can talk about it. Cool Boy is claiming the person who started pop locking next to lowriders in music videos. Booyah.
Yeah.
Now.
You do that. Much respect. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like when you said how you didn't think in your head, oh, I'm going to go get a video next to this lowrider. And that's the one thing.
No, it didn't
at first,
happen
you
like
know,
that.
For me,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about when, like, you're just, that's just that's your environment, you know? These are not things that
Right.
were taught to you. These are not things that you're seeing someone else do, so you're going to go do that. This is not like, oh, I think that would be a cool gimmick or...
I had no
anything.
idea it was going to end up being a big trend. No, it wasn't done for that. Yeah.
Right. And those are things that it's hard to explain to people sometimes when, because, you know, a lot of the culture is, you know, when it's taught in classes or, you know, people see it, you know, on YouTube or their favorite dancer or someone popular. A lot of it is just based on what they're seeing.
Yeah.
But for me, like, That's the one thing. And I made it a point, like when I first started, was to go to areas that I'm not from, to meet people, to see their experience, to see what that's like, not just the dancers, but the community, the environment, the area, be a part of that. You know what I mean? Not say I heard of it. And that was a big thing when I told you earlier, like I saw things, I mimicked things at first. There was a video, but I did, after meeting some people, and if I heard about someone else I never heard of before, it didn't matter if many people knew them or not, I wanted to go meet them. I would go with Jigsaw, people that I was dancing with at the time, in groups, and we would, if they were down, go break bread or see, their area, or get down over there, or whatever. And I think it's real important. It's real important to be said that this culture it's real people. These are real places. These are real experiences that are not just fabricated. Like it's just how it is.
That's what's up. Snoop Dogg or Ice Cube?
Snoop Dogg or Ice Cube? That's a hard one too. I'm gonna have to say Snoop.
Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg. See, you had to say Snoop because you know how we gonna ask him to sign us to his record label, or me and you, and then we choose Ice Cube. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Pandora,
Cute.
Stilettos or Chuck Taylors?
Oh man, I have a soft spot for Chuck Taylors. I do. I love stilettos. I'm a woman. I love my heels. And
You be
everything.
rocking stilettos, Pandora?
Yeah.
What? Can you
Dude,
pop? Can you pop in them?
Yes. Yes.
You got to do that on it. You got to do that. You got to make a video of that. I ain't seen nobody put on no I'm talking about real stilettos with the long motherfucking heel on it. I know 4-inch.
I'll do the 6-inch.
Yeah.
Anything like that's like this. I don't know about that.
Man, you got to shoot a video and get out in a pair. That would kill it.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, I do have a soft spot for the Chuck Taylors, though. I just do. I will always choose my tennis shoes or Chuck Taylors,
Okay.
or
Remember I said you cannot tap out. You got to answer this question. This is not pertaining to anything. Just pick one. Okay? Real fat, but little. Real long, but real skinny. Pick one. It's not pertaining to nothing. You just got to pick one. Real fat and little, or real long and skinny.
You know what? I consider myself real long and skinny because I am a little thing, and I am not the tallest person, but I am, I think I would consider
Yeah, but it wasn't
myself-
pertaining to that, Pandora. It wasn't pertaining to you. I was lying. This is pertaining to something. You pick long and skinny. Pandora likes long and skinny, y'all. I like the long and skinny, y'all. All right. Pandora,
It's so funny.
who would you date? Mac 10, if you had to date two, Mac 10 or Will Smith?
When I was a lot younger, I did have a crush on Will Smith. So I would say, based on that, the history there, I would say, yeah.
Oh, you want a man that's going to go around slapping motherfuckers for you, huh?
I knew you were I said it was based on when I had a crush when I was younger.
On the Fresh Prince?
We will not go there, though. I know it is unpopular to mention his name in most cases these days, but I can't, I'm a big believer in history. Just because certain events happen doesn't mean certain things don't get said. So, at one time I had thought that, so we'll keep it.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
It's another hard one. They're both so amazing. I gotta give it up to Rihanna.
Whoa.
And I'll tell you why. Like they're both queens. I think Beyonce she works so hard. She's a beast. In every sense of the word. a queen, Rihanna. Man, I admire just everything that she's doing. And I won't. This is more than just about music or like skill or anything like that. It's just in general, like what they do with their as business women, how they conduct themselves. You know, just the impact that they're having on the world in more ways than just as an artist.
That's deep.
You know, and that's not to say that Rihanna is more than Beyonce. It's just my personal preference.
That's what's
Because they
up.
both, for me, it's kind of,
Okay.
in all honesty, not comparable. But
Okay, okay, I give you that. Okay, hey, this is not pertaining to anything. I want you to pick a color. It's not pertaining to nothing. Red or blue?
Fred.
Pandora's one of the homies. It was pertaining to something. I lied again, Pandora. Hey, yeah, hey, y'all.
it's
Hey,
always-
I'm getting the homies on the
it's
phone.
always
Hey, put
pertaining to
put Pandora's on the set. She in the hood, homie. She from the hood now. Okay. You good. You on the squad now, Pandora. You got love. Nah, I'm just joking with you, man. Hey, Pandora, I appreciate your time and consideration. And look at you, so pretty. Look how fine. Look so beautiful. Look at her. Hey, I appreciate your time and consideration, man. I know everybody can't always share all the stories and share. I mean, if all of us pop lockers can talk about pop locking, we'll be here forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we all love it, man. And I appreciate you sharing that time with me in the beginning of your talk with for Poppin' Taco. You know, he passed away last week, so
Yes.
pop in peace to Poppin' Taco. And I appreciate your interview. It was good. There's a lot of things I didn't know about you that I know about, and the world is finna know about it. So before we end the show, I'm gonna throw a wave to you, and you got to throw it back to me.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
You better have your wave ready. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna
have
throw
it.
a cold.
I have it.
I'm gonna throw a cold one.
I have it.
Ooh, Bow! Oh! Hey! Hey! Peace. Hey, pop lock love to you, Pandora. Booyah! Booyah! What's pop locking, y'all? If you have not subscribed to Cool Boys Boxing Camp and Dance Academy, man, push that button. Come on, push that button and subscribe. That way we may be able to send you an email and bring you on our show, Pop Lock Talk. This show, man, is, to let everybody know that, you got the rap industry, you got the hip hop industry, you got the acting industry. Well, there's a such thing now as the pop lock industry. And this is where we talk about it right here. Cool Boys Boxing Camp and Dance Academy. Booyah!
I like the